Hello, friendlings. This is Claude from Chicago, and we are on Fred Street, USA, here in Fred's Wonder World. And we are going to be starting this beautiful time lapse, working on the backstage area and the main street for the right-hand side. If you are new to the channel, the Discord and the socials are in the description, as well as hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button really helps out the channel. We are so close to getting to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm pretty sure we can definitely get that by the end of the year. But of course, let's get into the build. So today we are working on the backstage area. Sadly, this does not exist in the background, that pirate thing. There is a new pirate thing in the background from our live streams. We did have to change it up a little bit, so it still is used. But I'm putting in some trees here to block all of that stuff so that the guests cannot see, because we want people to get into the park, even in the parking lot, to be immersed. And later we will put down some flowers and some trees in the parking lots to kind of give that immersion. Once you're here, you are here, like you are at the park. But we are going to work on the backstage area now. So most parks, especially low-budget parks, use outside companies to sell food. So just you open the park, you sell some spots to some outside companies. They do the food, you do the rides. You guys don't intertwine very often, and the people that are working the food do not intertwine with the park at all. They just do the food and they get out. So that's what we're kind of doing here. Obviously, in this game, you can't really have it be like that. So we're putting a little fence up to kind of like show that it is there, because even when you're in the parking lot, I don't want guests to see these buildings. We will struggle, but we will try to cover up these buildings as best as we can. And I think we come out with a great solution for that. But here we are using these beautiful blue fences that can be fences that can be recolored. They're just regular plain fences, and I stick a little chain link fence in there to give it like that rolling, like that effect that it can roll out and roll closed. So obviously these gates would not be open throughout the day or throughout the park. They would only be open. They would only be open like at like and a couple hours before the park opens, and be open when the park is closing or closed. Obviously, you know, when there's less parks or less people at the park, it would be open. By the way, we have to call all of our God, no. We got to call all of our guests. We can't call them customers. I almost done goofed myself there, because the reason is they're guests at the park. They're not customers. If you say they're customers, then it sounds like we don't care about them. They are guests. So if you say that they're a customer, they're fired. I'm pretty sure this is the same thing that they do in Disney. They'll never call you a customer. You're always called a guest. So that's what we're going to apply in Fred's Wonder World. Here I use an elevator door from the movie studio's ride pack. And it is a, you know, I couldn't find a really good door. I do need to put like a little awning over there as well. But if this was realistic, this back door here, or the elevator door, would open up and there would be just a single hallway in the back, so that all of these buildings could work together and store all of their food. So that's really what I want to do, and have it, you know, just one central thing. Everyone goes through there, comes out. There's no difference. The customers see that it's multiple buildings, but technically it's not. Here is a really cool thing from the studio thing as well, which is the garbage can. If you recolor it and turn it to stationary, it doesn't explode every 3 seconds, so you can actually make it look like a real dumpster. Obviously, the dumpster stuff would be all cleared before the guests get here, and at the end of the day, when the guests aren't here. So there's no huge thing. But I want to keep this area so like the people that are working on the food just stay in the back, and that's where they would park and that sort of thing. So we want to get some cars put in there, color them, just make them look a little different from each other. Most of those kids would be minimum wage people, just, you know, working their first job at a park. And here we are trying to detail this so that they can't really leave the area. Everything that they need is there. So we're going to put in some more fences here to kind of immerse because the guest can't see this backstage area. So we're going to have to cover it up as much as we can. And you will see me here in a couple minutes struggle, especially with the back, of like hiding it. So right now, I'm looking for a sign to show that this is for the regular park workers. Right there is their staff building. Obviously, in this game, everyone will go there and use that staff building. But realistically, if you were working for an outside company, an independent contractor, you would just stay, you know, in your area and you want to intertwine with anyone. So from here, we grab our beautiful spruce trees or evergreens or whatever they like to call them in this game and put a couple bushes down to kind of hide the parking lot once you are inside the park. Because once you're inside the park, I do not want anybody to see anything ever. Obviously, looking in is a little bit different, but on the outside, we want to really cover it all up. So here on the outside for the parking lot, I moved some windows over. I decided to delete them in a couple minutes, but I found these little potter plants that we will be using, quite honestly, pretty frequently now. But I've never seen anybody do this on Planet Coaster. Not saying that no one has done this before, but I actually put these all throughout the parking lot because realistically, you go put some trees in there, and that really does cover up the buildings. So when you do, like, if you're, like, obviously, if you specifically look, you could see the buildings in the background. I think if you did that in any park, you could see anything that you wanted to. But just quickly, you put them there and leave just one window just in case somebody looks up. And then I put a couple in the parking lot because even when you get into the parking lot, I want to start giving the people the vibe that you don't see all these cars. It's kind of getting blended in. Even if you accidentally looked over into the parking lot, it still looked nice. I've never seen anybody do this before. I'm not saying that it hasn't been done. But, yeah, that is that for the parking lots. So we're going to head over to the main street where Fred's Street USA is what I called it. Yeah, question mark. But we're going to start on our first buildings here. So the first two buildings, like on the other side, do need to be two-sided here so that guests can come in and purchase some things. Obviously, it's the first building that we see here, so they do have to generally look pretty nice because they will be seen from two sides when coming in. I decided to do something a little bit different here than we did on the other one during a live stream because that was not the easiest thing. But I grabbed some modern wood, just the exact same wood over there, grabbed the exact same brick, but color it a little different, a little bit oranger tint, because I want the right-hand side to be more of the Chinese and Hispanic area. So that's what we do there. And we copy the same, pretty much do the same roof. We line it up a lot better than we originally did. And then I delete it for some reason. I think I want to go with a 2-angle slope. It's not like an exact copy, but I do want it to look pretty similar. So we give it a new roof topping here, which is a little bit of a square. I still got to learn a lot more on the building mechanics of this game. And I'm trying to find a piece to fit into there. And most of these buildings will be hollow. They probably won't have any interiors. I've seen a lot of people play Planet Coaster, and a lot of the interiors really lag people's games. So we may do a couple, but we probably won't do too many. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. But yeah, let's get back into it. So we do these false windows up here. Obviously, realistically, there wouldn't even be a room up there. But in this game, in any amusement park or theme park, they use false windows, false floors to give the immersion that the building is taller than it actually is. I really think that the right-hand side of this actually turned out way better than I was expecting with these false windows. So we might have to do that with the left-hand side to keep that immersion that the buildings are taller than they actually are. Because realistically, we could just make a really tall building with exact floors, but no one's going to come in here. Just like within most theme parks, everything's on the ground floor, nothing's upstairs except for a little bit of storage, and then from there, it's just like it's probably just one floor with like 3 sets of windows showing that it is taller. Now, I didn't do this on the other side. I think I will go do this in a couple seconds here. But these Bavarian posts, I don't know why I didn't use them. I used a post, but I didn't use the little log post or the pillar at the bottom. So I'm getting rid of the old ones and lining them up perfectly, and then I'll I will move them all up like that so that you can see them. I don't know why I didn't do that the first time. That's strange to me. But we are almost done with the first building here, and we are going to use a separate building piece in a couple seconds to get this curved-ish thing. Should have done this on the last one, but I didn't. But we do this here, and then we'll bring this, just do the one here, and I was like deciding, do I pull it out a little bit more? But I just decided in the end just to make it a little square there, and just leave it like that. So, this park, is I know a lot of you guys want to just see huge coasters and all that sort of thing. If you want to see coaster builds and that sort of thing, check out the past live streams that we've done on the Fred's Wonder World. All the links are in the description, or come out to one of the live streams, because that's where we usually do those coasters. We don't do coasters that often. We don't do that many rides. From here, honestly, we're almost done with the pirate area at this point, because right now, if you're seeing this, the audio of this is being recorded between episode or stream 11 and 12. This has been recorded way before that. So from here, I decide to bring out these little awning overhangs out a little bit more, because it just looked a little bit weird there. And I find these really nice shutters, and I just get them to be a little bit of an orange shade. And we pull them here, and I decide to push them in a little bit more to give it a little bit more realistic thing. Just to give that little bit of detail. So we will be doing a lot of details on the outside, just because we want our park to look really good, because it's our park, not my park, at the end of the day. Just to continue the vibe of the thing, the same vibe, we are using the American banners or flags or whatever you want to call these to give us that USA feel. That's how most Disney parks are. I think they're all called the Main Street USA. Just to give that vibe of the American colors here, and from there on out down both sides of the road, it does switch countries multiple times, just to give us that diversity in our park. I put a couple benches here. Decided to just go with one, because we don't want too many people hanging out here. Most people at this point, when they're getting into the park, want to go straight on rides, or they want to leave. There's no eating or anything like that, so most of these shops here do get shut down. They're just hollow buildings, or the shops are shut down. I don't know why people don't want to go there. Maybe it's probably be better for mementos or something. I'm not too sure about the mechanics. But from here we are using, I believe we are using the Renaissance style buildings, which we did use a little bit on the British one, because the British one didn't really have any walls. It just had windows. I don't remember exactly. But this building right here is pretty decent. We do just wrap it up here. It's nothing crazy. And I'm trying to find a piece that would fit in there. I don't know why Planet Coaster. I know they're really busy with their other game, Planet Zoo, which we will play. That is a fact. When is the will play is I don't know. But here's where you see me put those huge windows on in a couple seconds here. I'm gonna delete those, because honestly, we really gotta do that false perspective a little bit better. And now here, I wanted, like, with the realistic vibe of this park, I wanted to put a ladder here. I've never done this before, but I want to put a ladder here, so like at nighttime or in the early morning or on a day that the park has to be forcibly shut down or something catastrophic happens, which hopefully it doesn't. But I want to have the staff members be able to get to the roof and work on anything that they do need, because you never know, maybe one day the air conditioning breaks and somebody goes in. You don't see any of this from Disney parks unless you were specifically looking. You probably could. From here, we are using the Spanish or his Mexican style building. I think this is the Aztec one. Sorry, which I think is still in Mexico. Am I right? I don't know. But yeah. So we're just getting these in here. I do decide to delete those windows right there, and we just chop them out because I didn't really like them. And we're just trying to find a little bit of windows here. These windows, these stucco windows, man. Oof. Man, I don't know what is with me, but these stucco windows are beautiful. Beautiful size, beautiful color. Absolutely perfect. Most of the things in this game are, like most Planet Coaster people say, and I will agree with, are very large and too much. So just finding a perfect size window is absolutely perfect. And just seeing this from here, it does look like it's 3 stories, but technically it's only 2 stories tall. Just by looking at it there, it's like absolutely beautiful. And I will delete those other windows. Okay, now the most exciting building here, I think the one that turned out the best on Main Street, is the Qin Dynasty Chinese building. Oh my goodness, I love the Asian building so much in this game and in real life. Beautiful architecture and everything. But I wanted to do a different roof here, and the Qin Dynasty in the World's Fair pack is the most developed with the most pieces, is what I've heard. And we are, it's hard to see, but this video sped up 1111.6%. So 1,111. That's how fast this is sped up. But with having all of these parts here and all these pieces, it was so easy to do. The other buildings on Main Street took me about 40 minutes to an hour long to do. This building here only took me 20 minutes, which is crazy. That's why I really believe that they should do some sort of release or something with more pieces for the sets, because I paid like $20 for the set, and most of these buildings here don't have any, for example, Adobe, they only have just right of the roof pieces that you're looking at right now. They only have right pieces for it. There's no left piece, and I was like, they really need to come back and redevelop it, of course. Especially if you're spending that much money, I believe that they should at least develop it a little bit more, but of course, I don't know. What do I know? But here, we don't put the Qin Dynasty next to that building next to us. I want to keep the Spanish buildings or the Aztecs or the South American or whatever you want to call next to each other. So we use the Adobe pieces here to give us this nice Mexican style thing. I don't think realistically they would have 3 floors on this mud clay brick house, but we do give it 3 floors because everything else has 3 floors on the street. And then we kind of wrap it up here. And like I was saying a couple seconds ago, with it not being well developed enough, I just decide to honestly just bring it across, and hopefully no one looks up. Hopefully no one looks up. It still looks fine, but it's just kind of frustrating. But then we decide to line this bad boy right up here, and we got to put the floor in and raise it up a little bit, bring it across, and absolutely beautiful. And then we take the Qin Dynasty building and put it across the street from our Japanese building, keeping us that little Asian vibe in this area. And I can't believe the video is almost over here, man. It takes so long to record, and it's so fun to record the audio. It's so, but now we're just kind of lining it up here. And we go to nighttime, and we do decide to do a lighting pass, a real quick, brief lighting pass. I'm not the greatest at lighting, so I just kind of give that kind of eerie lighting. So I've seen on Geekism use these Chinese lights. No, not Chinese lights. These pirate lights in a couple seconds here to light up the buildings. The pirate lights look just absolutely beautiful. And then here we're just using some underglow lights there. But these ones right here, these pirate lights, and I seen them do this technique, and it did take quite a bit of time. It took me way longer to do the lights, and especially the second set of lights. And I wanted to hang these going across. Obviously, realistically, I could probably just stick a pole in there and bring it across. But if there is a tram or something, the pole could get in the way and affect these things. But I decided to just put these onto the Hispanic buildings to give that sort of vibe. But here, the Chinese, Asian lights, I think they're called Oriental lights in this game, question mark. Decided to save, of course, too, because, you know, it's always good to save. But these don't go at that much of a degree of angle, so I do just bring these across here and just stick them like this. Now, I do have a little bit of struggle here because of the pathfinding of the thing with the advanced multi-tool sometimes. But I decided to raise up the Chinese building, or the Japanese building, and use some Chinese parts here to connect them up. And I do the same thing in the Chinese building, add some connection pieces like this, and it is perfectly aligned. So we're going to go into some glamour shots of the Main Street, or Fred Street, USA. And here is the new building. We have our new main building, a Renaissance building, a Hispanic building, and the Qin Dynasty building. And then here is a night shot as well. I hope you guys did enjoy this video here today. If you want to see more time lapses or more live streams of Planet Coaster, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comment section down below what you want to see next. Peace!